to demonstrate this whole process, we're going to start by me telling you that, first of all, this is an updated tutorial for 2023. Anybody who is using Fortnite 1.0 and 2023, you will be using probably the events and functions settings for devices and pretty much, devices basically. Hello everyone, today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to make this leaderboard. As you can see here before, there will be a clip inserted of the previous one that I made that raised questions, which is why I'm bringing you this tutorial today. Here we have this gold place area, and we're going to call this first place. Second place is fuchsia, and third place is aquamarine. Now here I have my sister here. She's going to help me with showing you guys how it looks for first and second place. And if I had somebody here for third place, I would, but I'll at least show y'all first and second place so y'all know that this method worked. I'm using the class selector and attribute evaluator method, and we also have some trackers, a score manager, a lot of triggers, and a mutator zone. When it comes to this situation here, you want to make sure, number one, that when you're doing your game settings, that the default class identifier is on number 1. This is how the system works. So default class is number 1 because we're going to be changing a lot of classes, and classes help keep this system organized. With that being said, now we can get into the devices and how to make this work. So the first device that's going to help us jumpstart this demonstration is the mutator zone device. These are the attribute evaluator devices, and then I renamed the first one to be evaluate 1. Evaluate 1 is going to go to this class selector, which is called class selector, and it is going to change them to class 2. All of these are set from 2 through 5. So class selector 3 is class 3, class selector 4 is class 4, class selector 5 is class 5. Those are all the classes that we'll be using in this demonstration. After we complete this tutorial, you will be able to choose as many class selectors and evaluators that you want, depending on how many people you want to be placed up here or how you want that to go. First part of this demonstration is mutator zone, where you emote. Every time you emote, score manager will give you a score and it will show up on the tracker. Now I set these trackers up to not end. They're going to display manually and be manually removed by the devices because we want you to be able to see that these are actually working. These devices are actually working. So we don't want it to disappear prematurely for the demonstration. So all the trackers here will be managed by devices. Mutator zone device jumpstarts this demonstration, and it is a representation of a fake game event, whatever you want your players to be tracked on. So after they get a score of 30, then they hit trigger 2. Trigger 2 sends a signal to evaluate every time somebody completes it. And then after they've been evaluated and the class is changed, they go to tracker 2, which tracks them and lets them know they're in a new class for this demonstration. Now, the other attribute evaluators will be evaluated after they are triggered by the triggers here. So we have our first place, second place, and third place trigger. Second and third place triggers will only be triggered by the first place trigger. These act as invisible in the background triggers. They don't need to be manually triggered because trigger 1 will jumpstart the placements. So how that works is as follows. I'll go into the demonstration. When you are actually triggering something, for this demonstration, we could literally set this to be triggered when, let's see what it is. When tracker 2 is completed, and on complete, it will send the signal to the evaluator. And every time the tracker 2 is completed, it would send a signal to second and third place. But I turned it off in the previous recording because it's already been demonstrated. So I just wanted to relay that in this message, in this video, that if you add a device to the first place trigger, every time that device has been triggered, it's going to send a signal to the other 2 triggers. Reason being is because last device that your player triggers that finishes the game, that is the device that's going to send signals to these triggers to actually place them on this mock leaderboard or the leaderboard that you make. Now the settings for the other two. Triggers 2 and 3 for second and third place are triggered by first place trigger. So that means for them that second place is triggered every 2 times to make it even. So that means that the second person that actually triggers second place is second place, and they'll be evaluated by evaluator 4, and evaluator 4 will change them to class 4. All right, third place is the same thing. Evaluator 5, class selector 5, class 5. Class 5 shows up on the last aquamarine player reference. Now we're going to get into the devices for the player reference devices. All of these are going to be referenced. A player will show up after the class that they have switched to is signaled. And the reason this works is because a different reference is being managed by a different class selector. So when I first started trying to get this leaderboard together, there was an issue where when one person registered, it showed up on the other two. So my goal was to get it to where each person that comes through the game that actually finishes it in different times are placed at different times. So that means that if I was to finish first, I place first, but I don't show up on the rest because those are for someone else. So whoever placed next is next, and whoever placed third is third. That was my goal, and hopefully for anyone else who has that goal, this is helpful for you. Now we're going to get into how this works. So you got to use different emotes because it's on start emote and player starts emote. Oh, I didn't see that. There you go. All right. Then I'm going to hit this and it's going to switch me. All right. We'll run outside over here and hit this trigger right there. And then over here, you go back into Mutator and then get a score of 20. All right. Now I'm going to hit this trigger. Now you hit and then you hit the first trigger. All right. Now, as y'all can see, I'm in first place because I hit the trigger first, and she's in second place because she hit the trigger second. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial. If there's more that I needed to cover, just let me know. This is a saved island, so I can always come back here, redo the video or re-explain the video. Anything that I skipped over or went too fast on, just let me know in the comment section. Thank you all for watching this tutorial. I hope that it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay groovy.